listeners, and welcome to episode 230 of the Nigeria Football Weekly podcast. Thanks for joining us for another episode of our weekend preview show. On today's episode, we will be going through the big announcement which we've heard today, which is very unfortunate as WAFCON has officially been rescheduled until July. So quickly touching on that, and then quickly touching on Super Falcons friendly game on Tuesday when they beat Cameroon by 3-1. And then touching on the midweek report games, as we had games involving our Nigerian players, both in Turkey, in the Premier League, in the Portuguese Taca de Portugal Cup. Also, Fisayo Dele-Bashiru was in action in the Coppa Italia semi-final. And we had a bunch of our players play on Wednesday in the Turkish Cup, as well as in the Bundesliga with Torunariga and Filippo Telle featuring for Hamburg. And then after that, we'll quickly do the Premier League game week review. If you're an Arsenal fan, all I will say to you is start getting your parade plans ready. The days of being fearful and worrying about City coming back are over. We need to embrace the fact that we have 8 games to go. We're 7 points ahead. Yes, in reality, it's 4 points. And out of our next 7 games, we play 5 at the Emirates Stadium. And we only have 3 more away games to go, including our last game against Crystal Palace. So Arsenal fans, drink it in. All of our enemies and our ops, it's time for you to realize what's about to happen. 22 years in the making. We are very ready. Yesterday, I have no more doubts in my mind. Arsenal are going to win the Premier League. So let's get excited. And all the enemies, they're going to cry blood. Oh, my God. The way London is going to shake, we're going to get into it. And then, of course, our top picks for the weekend outside of England, and then the ones to watch before getting into the community discussions. Today, I had to wear the Super Falcons kit from the last AFCON in solidarity for the shambolic actions of not just the NFF, but also CAF in terms of how they have platformed the women's game. I want to say a big thank you to everybody for helping us get to this point of having 230 episodes. That tells you that it's not today we've been running this P. But really, really appreciate all the support. We now have 11,450 subscribers, so we're on the road to 20K. So thank you for all the love and all the support. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share if you're watching this video. Shout out to all 13 people watching so far. Shout out to you, Jackson. Sorry I missed you yesterday. I think my timing, it was 10 p.m. UK time, but I think you were on at 9 p.m. But I hope you've been able to watch the members-only live stream, which I did. Just giving a few thoughts specifically for the members. So shout out to you guys. I really, really appreciate it. Also, remember, it's always welcome if you want to join as a member. We appreciate all the love and all the support always. So, yeah, again, another eventful few days of football. Let's get cracking. So, first and foremost, we have to start with the Super Falcons. Super Falcons, I mean, we'd heard rumors about WAFCON being postponed, especially with the lack of information and highlights that we'd received from CAF in their channel. When you have a tournament that's about to start, we should be seeing a lot more information about it coming up. So we had an idea was happening, but I have to say that CAF have really, really massively let down the women's game. What do you mean you announced the rescheduling of a tournament 12 days before it started? 12 days. Not 12 weeks, so 12 days, guys. That's how let down they've been. So earlier today, I got a notification, a media release from CAF in my inbox, which says CAF reschedules the dates of the Total Energies CAF Women's Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON to the 25th of July to the 16th of August. In October 2024, the Confederation CAF basically granted the hosting rights to Morocco, and this tournament was scheduled for the 17th of March to the 3rd of April 2026. After discussions between CAF and its partners, FIFA and other stakeholders, CAF decided to reschedule the dates of the WAFCON to 25th July to 16th of August to ensure the success of this important women's competition in light of certain unforeseen circumstances. Preparations for the WAFCON are underway and all parties are confident that it will be very successful. First of all, that is an absolutely stupid press release. Like, what do you mean you've cancelled WAFCON? You're telling us preparations are continuing there, but the preparation for 2 weeks' time is null and void. And you're saying unforeseen circumstances. What are these unforeseen circumstances? Morocco have known they were hosting this for over 2 years. They hosted the last 2 WAFCONs, so we know it's not an issue of facilities or setup. Is it the lingering annoyance of the way the men's AFCON final went and the fact that Morocco thought they will win and they will not win? Because why the hell is this happening? We saw the South African culture minister announce that South Africa are ready to take reins and host the tournament if need be. So it looks like CAF have basically just shafted the women's game. If they really knew that they didn't want to do another AFCON so quickly after hosting one in July last year in Morocco, then why didn't they make the WAFCON in the summer last year the official qualifier for the World Cup as well? We know that Nigeria, South Africa, and Morocco are the three giants of the continent, and all three of them were in the semi-finals. So why is it that all of a sudden you'd not use that, and now you're bringing the game into disrepute, and it makes everybody look stupid? Even CAF look very, very bloody incompetent, it must be said. How can you be doing this with 12 days to go? No wonder I could not apply for press pass. I knew they were wasting our time. But this is just a shame. Like, I have to say, women's football being let down on the continent yet again. How can this be happening? How can you postpone a tournament to 12 days to go? And yet you give us unforeseen circumstances as the reason. Think about the people that have bought tickets, done all the prep, booked hotels, and you're telling us unforeseen circumstances. It's just an absolute shame and an absolute disgrace, man. So I want to just say a big, I send my heart out to the women's team, the Super Falcons. Shout out to Risola Babajide for mentioning the fact that how can this thing be happening again? It's on the players to call these things out, because this will not be happening if they ended up playing for a European nation. So why should this be happening on our continent? We know AFCON was a very, very good advert until the final, and we saw the resources and we praising Morocco, only for them to hit us with this nonsense. I don't even know. I just feel really bad for the women. So they've taken time out of their club sides to come and be playing all these games. Then they thought they would go and be in Morocco for the next month, and they now have to go back to their club sides. Think about the planning stress and all of that. Would they be reimbursed? We can't reimburse their flights. We shall see. But anyway, it has been rescheduled to the 25th of July to the 16th of August. I think this is so bad because when does the World Cup end? You're basically saying that this women's AFCON will have no visibility because everybody and their daddy will be focusing on the men's World Cup, which is the biggest tournament in the world. So you're telling me the men's World Cup will end on the 19th of July, and 6 days later, we'll be starting a women's AFCON. And you expect us to give it the kind of credence and reach that it deserves. It makes no sense to me, man. But at least from what we're seeing, it looks like it will still go ahead in Morocco. So at least we'll take that one as one positive. But thank you. Like Aaron said, hosting a tournament does not guarantee you should win it. I'm tired of all this. How can they do this? Exactly. Thank you very much, Black Panther. Black Panther is the greatest movie. I feel like Morocco thinks doing the rest of Africa a favor. WAFCON has been successfully hosted in other countries. Thank you. Before Morocco, WAFCON was being hosted by other countries. So even when I was in Morocco, you got that sentiment from a few Moroccans, almost feeling like they're doing CAF a favor. It's like, bro, there's over 50 countries. Before Morocco will be hosting WAFCON and hosting AFCON. So let's not make it seem like it's a birthright thing. But I don't want to speculate that it was the Moroccans that caused it, but you have to insinuate that it feels likely. Even like Aaron said, exactly. Motsepe, what are you doing? You keep telling us they are trying to improve CAF, but yet you are reducing the number of tournaments you play. You're trying to introduce regional Nations League. Like, who the hell do you think you're catering to? We know you're already in Infantino's pocket, and we already know how compromised Infantino is. In fact, this is the most corrupt FIFA ever. I can't even believe after all the things we saw with Sepp Blatter and Jack Warner and all those guys and Wolf Harris of America, we have now seen this Infantino take it to another level. But honestly, it is so shocking and it needs to stop. But that's the update I have for you guys. Really, really big shame. But WAFCON has officially been postponed. So we'll revisit it in the summer and see what's going. Apart from that, well, this will happen before the women's team, the Super Falcons, knew that the whole WAFCON was going to be cancelled. They played their second friendly game against Cameroon on Tuesday, and thankfully we're able to show our real pedigree on the continent and beat Cameroon by 3-1. Even though they scored early in the game in the first 10 minutes, we then saw a blitz by the Super Falcons with our usual suspect scoring. Chiwendu Hazel scored the equalizer in 32nd minutes. Then Rinsola Babajide, who I think has been our best player in these two friendly games, popped up with yet another goal just before halftime. She was also the one who played the cross in for Hazel to score. And then 64th minute, I saw Michelle Alozie score a fantastic header. Literally, it was just a great leap, it must be said. And we won the game 3-1. So really, really good to see them bounce back after losing the first game by 1-0, and just showing their pedigree that, look, we're still the best on the continent, regardless of who you are, and regardless of how little and poorly prepped we are from our federation. So I just want to say, always good to win, and congratulations to them. It's just a shame that this is happening, and they played the game, and now the tournament has been cancelled. So anyway, I guess they take the points in terms of FIFA rankings and move on to the next. But really and truly, this thing needs to stop in terms of how we're letting the women's team down. Enough is enough. It is not good enough, honestly. So those are the updates from our women's team. And shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody on the stream, all 22 of you. Please like the video. Jackson, we're going to get into the Premier League very soon. I see you, bro. Ola says it's also no guarantee Morocco will qualify for the World Cup if it's moved to South Africa. Ghana's female team are solid now. Good point. But you have to admit, preparation-wise and talent-wise, Morocco are still probably the best on the continent in terms of preparation. All the intangibles that the rest of us don't have. You know, their league is also working. I also know that the Moroccan league, they paid the women's team directly from the Moroccan Federation's coffers. So there's no issues of payment or their league running or even them being able to be platformed in the best way possible. So even though we're upset with Morocco, let's not lie about certain things. You know, I still think they've done a lot for the women's game that a lot of other countries need to catch up on. A country like Nigeria that have led the women's game for all these years, how is it that we've allowed another country to come and take over in terms of facilities, a league, and just structuring the league in a professional way for it to grow? They don't have two heads, but I don't want to turn this into Azamen Wala again, because those ones already know how incompetent they are. You know, so it is what it is. Shout out to you, John Andrea. Good to see you, my bro. No worries at all, bro. Bro, life happens, man. You know, I don't even think you've missed that many, to be honest. So I appreciate you for being on. And shout out to K Football. Says they're not happy about the fact that they lost the men's AFCON. I really hope that's not the reason, but you have to say that it's hard not to make such insinuations based on the information that we've seen so far. So, CAF, we're going to need more than this, your useless press release telling us unforeseen circumstances. We need more information. It is the least the women's game deserves. So let's see what go on and we take it from there. So anyway, midweek reports. So what games were Nigerian players involved in outside of the Premier League? On Tuesday, we saw the Turkish Cup resume its final group stage games. The main thing for you to know is all of the Nigerian players playing for big clubs, their clubs are already qualified for the knockout stage. The Turkish Cup, they're trying to get some level of relevance that they made it a group stage play. And literally, 8 teams will qualify for a quarterfinal. So finally, the group stages have ended. Obviously, Osimhen did not play for Galatasaray because he was not needed, and Galatasaray had already qualified for the quarterfinals. So they played an entire second string 11. You know, even some names on the team, I didn't recognize them, to be honest. But Galatasaray beat Alanya Sport 2-1, and Osimhen was rested, and we know why. They've got a big Turkish league game against Besiktas, another Istanbul derby this weekend, and of course, next week, serious business, where they'll be hosting Liverpool at Rams Park. So please, it made sense to rest your star boy for such a game when the rest of the team can prosecute the games. Positive news as well. Yet again, Onuachu scored again. Last game in the group stage for Trabzonspor, they beat Istanbul Basaksehir by 4-2. This game was very, very eventful, it must be said. Basaksehir made it 1-0. Trabzonspor equalized. Istanbul Basaksehir, they made it 2-1. And mind you, Trabzonspor did not even start scoring their equalizer until the 70th minute. Onuachu came off the bench for this one and scored his 20th goal of the season. 20th goal, 18 in the league and 2 in the cup. And yet again, it was a fantastic finish, must be said. He scored his goal to make it 3-2 on the night. And it's funny when you watch Onuachu running with these Turkish defenders. It's as if the defenders are slow. I will let you. Because the way he carried the ball like 30 yards, slight press of mind to cut into his right foot. But this is what I don't get. If you're a Basaksehir defender, yes, your team is last in the league. But you know Onuachu is right-footed. He's shaping off to shoot in his left foot. You already know he's not going to get a good shot with his left foot. So why take the bait? So Onuachu just cuts this guy. The guy slides off, and with his right foot, he slams the ball straight into the bottom corner to make it 3-2. And as if that was not enough to make it worse, if you see the 4th goal that Trabzonspor scored, Istanbul are trying to get an equalizer. The goalkeeper needs to play a goal kick far wide. He shoots it straight to the Trabzonspor player, and he hits him and goes into the net. And that's how Trabzonspor won the game to make it 4-2. I mean, what does this mean for Onuachu? 9 goals in his 8 games since coming back from AFCON. 2 in 2 cup games and 7 in 6 games in the league. I mean, what else is there to say about Polo? I mean, he's literally doing the best he can do with the tools he has, and he's flourishing in the best way you can expect someone to do so for a club like Trabzonspor. Yes, they won the league a few years ago when Antonio Nakame was the hero, but we know Trabzonspor, the best they can probably get this season is finishing third, and they're making it back into Europe, which would be a good achievement for a club of their stature. You know, they're not an Istanbul side, so they're not one of the biggest boys, the lad. But really, really good kudos to Trabzonspor and Paul Onuachu. Also, we need to give our congratulations to Ademola Lookman. Ademola Lookman has been an Atletico Madrid player for literally 6 weeks, give or take 6-7 weeks, and he has already booked his place in his first final for Atletico Madrid and will get the opportunity to win his first piece of silverware for Atletico Madrid in the next few weeks. Yes, they won the first leg by 4-0, where we know Lookman scored a goal and got an assist as well as pre-assist. But on Tuesday, Barcelona tried their best to remontada the results and actually played pretty well in the Camp Nou and won by 3-0. Marc Bernal was really, really good, scored 2 goals. I can't remember who scored the second goal. Was he Amal or... Anyway, it was 3-0 as at 70th minute, and they still had opportunities to maybe score an equalizer. But fair play to Atletico Madrid for holding on and making the final. They did not give 2 shits at the end of the game, and rightfully so. They scored 4 goals. It's not their fault. Barcelona did not score more than 3. Lookman started the game, but it was hooked off after 58 minutes in this game. But the beautiful thing is they're in the final, and they get to play Real Sociedad, who are actually managed by an American. So if you ever play any pub quiz, I think the American guy right now, Matarazzo or something, he must be the most high-profile U.S. coach in the top 5 leagues. But Atletico Madrid will also get to play Real Sociedad this weekend, so that'll be a pre-warm-up for the Copa del Rey final. And we wish Lookman all the best. We know that Atletico still have a good chance in the Champions League. They get to play Tottenham Hotspur. I'm watching the Tottenham Hotspur game in the corner of my eye here, so we already know Atletico should win that game, and then they'll play Barcelona. Yes, Barcelona could easily win, but you also know that Atletico Madrid on their day could beat Barcelona. So there's a world where Lookman could easily still battle for the Champions League title. Obviously, if he gets to the semi-final, I'll likely play Arsenal, so I hope he's knocked out. No offense. But for you to already, 6 weeks in, have booked your first final for Atletico Madrid, and you've become such a solid and pivotal player for them, is fantastic news. So congratulations to Ademola Lookman and Atletico Madrid for getting the job done. Also, on Tuesday night, in our first Premier League game to cover, we saw Tolu Arokodare turn into prime. Who's a great player shooting the ball? A great target man. Do you guys remember like Yankola from Borussia Dortmund? Every time you watch Tolu Arokodare play against a team that's useless, no offense, but he looks useless and out of place. But you see Arokodare when he's playing Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United, teams that can have great reputation because he knows that everybody's watching and all the Lagos baddies will be watching. I don't know what happens, but Arokodare just turns into prime Yankola. Like, who saw Wolves beating Liverpool? Like, where did that come from? It didn't even start the game. But my word, did you see the first goal? Do you see the way Arokodare chested the ball and bodied Van Dijk off the ball? I didn't even know he had that in his locker. He made Van Dijk look like he needs to get into the gym. And then he had the presence of mind to play such a fantastic pass with his left foot to Rodrigo Gomez. Where did Arokodare? I've not seen this in Arokodare's locker before. I won't lie to you. Played a fantastic ball. Yes, Liverpool were chasing their own goals because they're trying to score. But that was expert football in terms of counter-attacking play from a centre forward and his midfielder who latched onto the ball. Rodrigo Gomez was able to take it in one stride, one touch, and play this fantastic dink finish straight into the bottom corner to make it 1-0. Yes, we then saw Mo Salah end his goal drought, which is longest of his Liverpool career, with the equalizer in the 82nd minute. But thankfully, Wolves did not stop going. As if beating Aston Villa 2-1 the other day was not enough. They then had a shot from Andre, the Brazilian who they signed from Fluminense in the summer after his Club World Cup performance. Take a shot, got deflected, but still, if you don't shoot, you don't score. Wrong-footed Alisson to make it 2-1. And now we have a situation where Wolverhampton, yes, they are 12 points off safety, but who would have thought Wolverhampton will win 2 out of their 3 games in the Premier League for the entire season over the past week? You know, I don't know if Wolves can do a great escape like Aaron said, but what I do know is that this is the toughest Premier League season we've ever seen. And even the teams that look like they're going down, they're like, nah, I'm leaving with something. You are coming with me. And I love the way Wolverhampton are playing. I mean, in their last 5 games, they literally have 2 draws, 2 wins, and 1 loss. Like, they've been one of the better teams in the Premier League in this calendar year. It's just a shame that it took so long for this ginger to germinate. So here we are now with Wolverhampton. But I want to give a big shout out to Tolu Arokodare for his performances and for him bullying Van Dijk. And whatever it is that's motivating the Wolves players to continue putting up good performances, long may continue. I read on The Athletic that Rob Edward is literally telling everybody, what is your personal reason for still playing well? Could it be to secure another move? Could it be to secure a contract in the championship? Whatever your reason is, pride, make sure you tap into it and we see that benefit. And that's definitely something we saw on Tuesday by Wolves and Tolu Arokodare and the entire team. So congratulations to them. And then finally on the Tuesday games, we saw Terry Murphy start for Porto in the Taça de Portugal semi-final first leg against Sporting Lisbon. Murphy played 62 minutes while Zedu Sanusi was an unused sub for this game. But Sporting Lisbon won the first leg by 1-0. So unfortunately, they did not win. But the good thing is the second leg is still far away, so they have to regroup. It's in 6 weeks' time on April 22nd. So let's see how Porto get on when they play the second leg at their Estadio do Dragão. So that should be an interesting one. But at the very least, good to see Terry Murphy starting games. Also, in terms of games in the midweek report, on Wednesday, in the Turkish Cup, we saw Wilfred Ndidi start for Besiktas as they beat Rizespor by 4-1. Ibrahim Olaoyin started on the bench for Rizespor. I'm not sure if he came on. But Besiktas are one of the teams that have already secured their passage into the Turkish Cup quarterfinals. So congratulations to the Super Eagles captain and Besiktas. Also, in the Bundesliga, we saw Jurgen Torunariga play the final 25 minutes for Hamburg as they played at home against Bayer Leverkusen. Filippo Telle missed this game due to a groin injury, but Leverkusen were the better team, it must be said. Christian Kofani scored a fantastic goal to win this by 1-0. But really and truly, they could have beaten Hamburg by 2, 3, or 4 goals. But I guess that's just difference in pedigree when a team is 4th and in the Champions League versus 11th in the Bundesliga. So at the very least, good to see Torunariga playing games. We know Chukwueze Ndidi did not play again for Marseille. He was on the bench, but I want to just highlight how much of a chaotic club Marseille are. They had the opportunity to win the French Cup for the first time since the 90s, and they were by far the most high-profile team left in the tournament apart from Lyon. Paris Saint-Germain have already been knocked out. But what do Marseille do when they played Toulouse in the Velodrome yesterday? They drew the match 2-2 and lost on penalties to Toulouse. Yes, Toulouse are in the Ligue 1, but Marseille really should be beating Toulouse at home. And it feels like Marseille are one of those cursed clubs, honestly, because what the fuck do you mean you lost in the Coupe de France at home to Toulouse? So those were the games not involving the Premier League. And then also, finally, FDB my shooter. FDB my shooter. Thank you so much, FBV Zone, for saying it. FDB my shooter scored his first goal of the season for Lazio. It was not in the league, but in the Coppa Italia semi-final yesterday, Lazio played against Atalanta at the Stadio Olimpico, and it ended up being a 2-2 draw in this game. The beautiful thing about this was Fisayo Dele-Bashiru scored and showed the kind of basically all the traits that I love to praise him for. If you watch the Uganda game at AFCON, this was basically like Fisayo running it back. He played in the middle of the park, and he was an absolute monster in this game. Like, he opened the scoring to make it 1-0, and if you see the way he carried the ball from the center circle, ran up the pitch, played a fantastic 1-2 with Daniel Maldini. For those of us that are super old, yes, Daniel Maldini is Paolo Maldini's son. Yeah, what the fuck? As if Cesare Maldini, Paolo Maldini's father, didn't play football and manage Italy as well. Then you have Paolo Maldini, probably the greatest defender in history. And then now his son is in his 20s playing for Lazio. And Daniel Maldini played this ball straight back to Fisayo Dele-Bashiru. And in one touch, he just dinked this fantastic chip over the goalkeeper to make it 1-0. And that's how they got themselves started. Mario Pasalic then scored his 3rd goal in the Coppa Italia in 3 games to equalize to make it 1-1. And then in the final 10 minutes of the game, we saw a mistake by Atalanta that allowed Senegalese international Boulaye Dia to get in and make it 2-1. But unfortunately, with the last kick of the game, USA international Yunus Musa, formerly of Hayland as well, scored a fantastic shot to make it 2-2. And it was his 2nd goal in literally 2 games. So that's how the game ended, 2-2. The second leg will be on April 22nd as well, so in 6 weeks' time. But Lazio would probably have preferred to win the game. But at the very least, they have a draw to go to Atalanta, and see how they get on in Bergamo in the second leg on the 22nd. The winner will likely play Inter Milan or Como, more likely to be Inter because the first leg was 0-0 at Como, and you expect Inter to put them to the sword at the San Siro. But if any team is capable of shocks, it is Como in Serie A this season. So that'll be interesting to see. But I just wanted to highlight the fact that Fisayo Dele-Bashiru was back on the goals, and long may this fantastic news continue on his behalf. Now, in the Premier League, unfortunately, it was not the best day out for our Fulham boys. They played at home at Craven Cottage to West Ham. Iwobi and Chukwueze started as the wingers on the flanks because Harry Wilson was injured, and we saw Bassey start in the center of the park. Fulham had some opportunities to score, but you must say that West Ham had the desire and wanted it more, which is what you expect when they're relegation zone. You know, I don't know what Ben Leno was thinking with the goal that Sergio Somerville scored. And then I saw him trying to complain to Calvin Bassey. It's like, Leno, what are you doing coming all the way out? You are not a sweeper keeper. Stop trying to do things that you are not able to do. And that's literally how they lost the game 1-0. But I have to admit, because of my agenda against Tottenham, it was not the worst result I've ever seen. I will give Fulham a pass for one game because we now know that Tottenham are officially on the way to being relegated, and they have just gone 1-0 down. Ismail Assar's winning 1-0. Crystal Palace 1, Tottenham 0. Oh, Bobby club, man. I hope Tottenham get relegated, man. Can you guys imagine the scenes? That year that they were trying not to score against Man City, even though they needed to make the Champions League, they would rather have allowed Aston Villa gone to the Champions League. Let me tell you, there's no worse club in the Premier League than Tottenham. When it comes to ambition, they are absolutely useless and disgusting. All they want to do is make money from their stadium, and I'm glad that the chicken is coming home to roost because they deserve it. Such a mediocre club in all aspects. Last season, they finished 16th. They won Europa League. They thought that would cover their backs. And now this means that if they lose this game, they will be 1 point off Nottingham Forest and West Ham. And let me not even lie, I back West Ham and Nottingham Forest do better than bloody Tottenham Hotspur. In fact, let's go Madrid put them to the sword so they have a lot of games to play and can really suffer from the pressure. But my God, Tottenham, what a useless club, man. How can you be playing all these home games? They've only won 2 home games all season in the Premier League inside this stadium. Nah, man. Dog shit, it must be said. So anyway, like I said, shout out to West Ham for getting the win. And I'm glad to see this pressure on Tottenham after that result. And then, as I said, for any of you that have not joined earlier at the start, Arsenal fans, drink it in. We are going to win the Premier League. Before yesterday, I was scared. I was worried. But let me tell you, who would have thought Nottingham Forest would go to the Etihad Stadium and leave with the 2-2 draw? Arsenal fans, go and start getting excited. We have a Premier League title to win. I'm telling you, ignore all the naysayers. Like, there is no world where you would have expected Nottingham Forest to get a draw at the Etihad Stadium over Man City. But guess what? That is exactly what happened. I mean, we also have to say it's concerning when Man City are relying on Antoine Semenyo to score their goals. What happened to Haaland? What do you mean Semenyo is your top goal scorer since he signed? That tells me that everybody's still judging Man City of the past, not the current Man City we're seeing. And when did Man City turn to such bitches who whine all the time? Rodri, Bernardo Silva, oh my God, all they do is go and cry and lament. Oh, this is going against us. Bro, this is not the City we're used to. You guys shut up and deliver, but we're not seeing it no more. Semenyo scored to make it 1-0. And then shout out to Ola Aina, by the way. Ola Aina started this game. I was fantastic. He got the pre-assist for the equalizer. If you see the cross he played to Igor Jesus just nodded the ball back. And then Morgan Gibbs-White. Thank you, Jesus. He did not sign for Tottenham. Guys, have you seen the crazy back heel he scored? Nah, Gibbs-White is too talented. I'm sorry. Like the presence of mind as the ball is dropping to watch it and just back heel it through the goalkeeper, through Donnarumma, and through him. I think it was Ruben Diaz's Toros. Fantastic goal, man. And next thing you know, it was 1-1. And then we didn't want to get too excited because, of course, even though Man City been complaining about corner kicks, guess who scored their second goal from a corner kick? Mr. Rodri, Mr. Winger. Huh? I saw you score a corner and you were celebrating like it was the best thing that's ever happened to you. But shout out to Nottingham Forest. Elliot Anderson, you will be great. You're going to have a great World Cup. We already know that Man United, I just feel like he's going to sign for Man United. It feels too English player, midfielder. I just feel like his destiny is to move to Man U because he can't go to Tottenham or one of those useless clubs. But my God, you see the 1-2 Elliot Anderson played with Hudson-Odoi. Look at the fantastic shot, wrapped his boots around it. And that ball just flew into that bitch, man, the bottom corner. Donnarumma could not do anything. And then, shout out to Murillo, the Brazilian center-back. Murillo, if you're watching this, you are welcome to the Arsenal parade. Forza Brazil. You're going to get to the World Cup squad by God's grace because my heart was in my mouth. Once I saw them play that ball in, and it looked like it was one-on-one for them to shoot, and the ball was bouncing. And then Savinho took the shot. And I just saw Murillo kick the ball out. My heart was like this. But the moment they blew the final whistle, guys, don't let anybody gaslight you. If an Arsenal fan is done. Everybody are welcome to the parade. We shall see you in London. Let's get excited. And no London forever, man. You just wait. If you think we're insufferable in March, just wait till the end of May. Like I said, 8 games to go for Arsenal, 5 at the Emirates, 3 away, including the Etihad, West Ham United, and also Crystal Palace. But the beautiful thing is we just need 6 more victories. And one of our final away games on the last day of the season against Crystal Palace. So I need us to have sealed that title by the time we play Burnley on game week 37 so that we can lift that trophy at the Emirates Stadium. So that means for our next 7 games, we have 5 games at home and 2 away, including Man City and West Ham. Now, because of our league, we can even lose to City and still win the title. But knowing my boys, I know Arteta's cooking up something for me. After them scoring that last-minute equalizer last year and celebrating, I know we have something for them. So Arsenal fans, drink it in. It's coming on, baby. It's coming on. Do not let anybody gaslight you. So that's it in terms of the midweek report. Yes, we have seen that they disallowed the Palace goal and Dominic Solanke has finally scored. It will never ever not be a pet peeve of mine when I hear the way they pronounce this boy's name. Solanke ko. Solanke. I need to see the goal. I missed it. Oh yeah, Palace. Ginger again. Few comments before I get to the Premier League review while we're watching. Home advantage. Ola says they couldn't qualify for the last Olympics. You're right. I'm guessing he's talking about Morocco at that point. Shout out to you, FBV Zone. Thank you for shouting about Mashuta FDB scoring just as I was about to say it. King Duck 2648 says Morocco are a disgrace. If they won AFCON, they will never have cancelled AFCON. It's a theory I'm led to believe, I must say. So let's see what happens. But you can't ban them for AFCON or the World Cup. In fact, I'm looking forward to seeing them in the World Cup. I think they will give Brazil a very, very tough game. And if Brazil are not careful, they could actually beat them. That's how interesting it will be. But I don't like their sore loser angle. And I love the fact that whatever happens, their AFCON drought is going to continue, whether they like it or not. You know, whether it's going to take another 5 years or whatever. All I know is that AFCON in Pamuja next year, Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya. All I know is Morocco are not winning. It's us that speak English that will have benefits. Let all the big boys have a clean, fair ground to all operate at, and we'll see who's the best when there's no support for any big teams. So we'll see what going on, and that should be exciting. Aaron says, I like your ball knowledge. You know every country each player represents. Thank you so much, Aaron. Oh, that's so kind of you, Aaron. Aaron, we'll be trying, man. You know, like I said, we're football junkies over here. So we just try to watch football always and try to know what's going on. I also just have a really serious interest in all football, to be honest, especially like internationals. I will watch every qualifier. Trust me, I followed CONCACAF qualifiers, South America, Asia, everywhere. So it's all good. I just got a notification that Van de Ven has been sent off. You see, it's the spirit of the thought, it's the history of the thought now. Tottenham and the one club, you don't even have to wait long to banter them. They're always going to self-destruct. That one is sure. Van de Ven, get off the pitch, man. Ismail Assar, go and take up your pen. I'll keep watching in the angle. Nigeria needs to thank their lucky stars because their preparation is terrible. You're right, King Doc. That one is on the NFF. They're so useless, honestly. So useless. And I agree on everybody saying Tottenham are shit. Yeah, keep the updates coming. John Andrea says, what happened to the years when Spurs was in Champions League final? Bro, those were the old days. You don't think about the old days? Those are the old days. And they failed to build on their strengths. They went to go and build stadium and become useless. In fact, can you imagine if Eze and Co signed for this bummy club? Like, honestly, like, let me not detract myself from the show. But anyway, we'll keep watching Tottenham's nonsense. Very bummy club. Anyway, Premier League review, as I've just said, Arsenal. The Premier League is on the way. Tuesday, we saw Everton beat Burnley by 2-0. Then we saw Bournemouth and Brentford draw 0-0 on Tuesday night. Then we saw Sunderland get a 1-0 smash and grab win at Ellen Road, courtesy of a Habib Diarra penalty. He was lucky to score it, must be said. And of course, we saw Wolverhampton beat Liverpool by 2-1. And then yesterday, as I've already said, Arsenal, Bukayo Saka, you always be great. Bukayo, Omo Naija. I don't know how you're doing with terms that you say you don't know Celine Dion. I know it's your age, but come on, bro. You got to know Celine Dion. Your parents not let you watch Titanic. What do you mean? So shout out to my boys, man. And our fans, our away fans at Brighton. Big respect to all of you, man, for the way you roared once the City results came across. So Arsenal, it's not our fault. We have our 14th clean sheet of the season. The rest you keep up. And all those bums whinging about the way we play football. If you're better, then come and stop it now. What do you mean you're complaining? I've never seen anything like that. And if you think we're insufferable now, just wait till London is painted red at the end of May. You guys are lucky there's a World Cup this year. I wish there was no World Cup so that we can really rub it in everybody's faces all year. And then God help you if Arsenal win the Champions League. We're just getting started. Let me just say it like that. Obviously, I already spoke about City drawing with Forest 2-2. West Ham beating Fulham 1-0 yesterday. And by the way, Chelsea fans, I have to apologize about João Pedro. João Pedro's chain is legit. Wow, this guy is a footballer. 14 league goals for the season, no penalties. This guy is decisive. Even the way he played against Arsenal. Yes, he did not score, but he was a menace. And even the way he put Aston Villa to the sword yesterday, wow. I'm sure it was one of the few things giving you people joy as Chelsea fans. Because let's be honest, he kind of saved your Champions League campaign, considering the games you have coming forward. So very, very interesting to see. And shout out to João Pedro. There's another Chelsea player that I really respect. Reece James. Oh my God, Reece James. Reece James, man. If he stays fit, that guy's going to be starting left right back for him. He got at the World Cup for sure. So Chelsea were fantastic. And then Man United. Why are your fans not talking too much this weekend? William Oshula. I think it's an Edo name. Someone correct me. We all know William Oshula. He's playing for Denmark, but he's eligible for Nigeria. And he's always repping Nigeria whenever he can. You know, I won't even lie. Me, I can't make Ogbono. And we've seen him making Ogbono in Newcastle for Willock and Isaac before. But my God, what a fantastic finish. United were feeling themselves. Casemiro scored the equalizer again, got on penalty. But you see that Oshula wrapping his foot around that ball. Oh my God. You see some goals sometimes, just remind you why you love football. And I have to say, William, he definitely did what needed to be done at that moment. Fantastic finish with his left foot, wrapped the ball around. And I like that it was such a dagger. But United fans, you people need to come and tell me why your heroes such bad minds. Do you see what Paul Scholes posted? What kind of negative energy is that? I've always known he's a dunce anyway. You know, everybody respects him because of what he did as a footballer, but it's one of the worst pundits we've ever seen. That's how I was saying the other day, whoever wins, they should not be given a title. It's like, bro, are you 2 years old or you're an ex-footballer? Can you give us some actual insights or analysis or get the fuck out of here? Same way Mikel Obi is crying about Arsenal. It's like, Mikel, are you sick? Like, stop giving us opportunities to discredit your legacy. You're a great player, one of our greatest ever for Nigeria. But you come online and waffle and sound like an idiot with your fake British accent. It's so annoying. And then you come there and be saying, oh, Arsenal did nonsense. It makes you lose credibility. You look like an idiot. You sound insane. That's the honest truth. Like you not play without Mourinho, the king of packing the bus and specialist in that. I'll be honest, I think we need to stop giving Mikel Obi's podcast airtime. Yes, we must respect him for what he did, but if he doesn't have anything sensible to say, we need to act accordingly. We'll now be forming accent and be saying nonsense. Like, you look stupid, Mikel. Like, please do better. We respect your podcast. We're even glad that one of our ex-greats has a platform. But use it with wisdom. We should be hearing insights like you used to do when you interview all your ex-teammates, not coming to be yarning dust. In fact, Mikel says some really stupid things sometimes. I'm even scared about if he ever gets me NFF. Because where's your personal pride as a human being? So anyway, we just want to address that nonsense. And of course, Tottenham are 1-0 up. No, it's 1-1 just before halftime. So we'll see how this game shakes out. So as I said, Arsenal, we're literally on the cusp of winning the Premier League title. 8 games to go. We can still end up with 91 points. But for now, we have a 7-point lead over Man City after their draw. And then we have Man United and Aston Villa occupying 3rd and 4th place on 51 points each. So those ones, there's nothing they can do to even win the title, let's be honest. They're both 16 points behind us now. Then you've got Chelsea and Liverpool on 48 points, occupying 5th and 6th. So it looks like that is going to go all the way down to the wire. We know Chelsea still have to play Man City at home. So I think they will even end up helping us now win the Premier League, it must be said, you know. But I think it's really, really exciting. It looks like the top 6 is pretty much defined for now because Brentford are 4 points behind Liverpool in 7th. But I think that fight for a European spot in 7th and 8th is going to be very, very tasty, especially if one of us big boys ends up winning the FA Cup. So let's say Arsenal win the FA Cup. We already know that it's Arsenal and Man City in the League Cup. So that means that the top 5 teams will already be given Champions League spots. Position 6 and 7 will then be given Europa League spots. And then we'll see the 8th spot get a Conference League place. So very interesting because between Brentford, Everton, Bournemouth, Fulham, Sunderland, Newcastle, you could see any of them get into those points, you know. And now we officially have a relegation battle on our hands because you have to say that nobody is really dead and gone. Even Wolverhampton have remembered how to win games. Burnley have still been, you know, competitive despite getting thrashed, you know. And then look at West Ham with their wins recently. And Nottingham Forest beginning to show signs of life as well. So it's safe to say that Tottenham are going to have to find a way to win this game, even with 10 men. If not, they're going to be in big, 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 big trouble, you know. So that's interesting to see. And that's how the Premier League roundup has been. So for everybody to know, there's no Premier League games this weekend. It will be the FA Cup 5th round, which is the round just before the quarterfinals. So you might as well just call it the round of 16 of the FA Cup. So really excited for those games. But I want to shout out all our boys for how they performed in the Premier League this weekend. Sorry about my light, man. Like, why is my light doing this to me today, man? Anyway, before I get into the FA Cup 5th round preview, let me just go through a few comments. Okay, we're watching the Tottenham game, all of us. Yes, they got a red card. Thanks for clarifying, John. Andrea said Osula is Edo. I think I had his Edo, so that makes sense. And I love this comment from Adwa Yusuf. Mikel should speak normal English. You really don't need the innate to sound believable and intelligent. Thank you. In fact, all of us that work in the UK, or we've worked our entire careers in the UK, or we're born here, or whatever, you don't say innate in the workplace where you're even having formal discussions. Yes, it's slang. But Mikel, I don't know who taught you about how trying to speak in England or whatever, but it's not by in it and trying to fake your accent that you sound normal or believable. Please stop that rubbish. And thanks for that comment. Adwa Yusuf also says, when Wenger was taking Arsenal top 4 after the stadium building, they thought it was easy. Thank you very much, bro. They thought it was easy. Hey, Palace have scored 2-1. Strand Baby, baby. Get excited for the World Cup. Oh my God, looking at the cameras just pan to the Tottenham fans. Let's just drink in the moment for 1 second. I want to make sure I see the goal this time. Go on, Strand Larson. Go on, Palace. Oh, Tottenham fans will cry. Did you guys hear that? The championship, they've expanded the playoff pool from 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th to 3rd to 8th. Oh, Adam Watson, nice pass. Oh, great goal. Finish, son. Matthias, how are you doing? It's the spirit of the Tottenham. They're so shit. I'm even thinking from their squad, is there anybody that I'll take? Who will I take from this Tottenham squad that could actually be useful for us now? Definitely none of the defenders, I'll tell you that for free. Vicario, I'm not sure Vicario is better than Kepa. Maybe I'll take Papsa. Yeah, Papsa can come and become backup to Zubimendi. Maybe apart from him, but even Papsa, man, he needs to do more. None of their attackers, that's for sure. Tottenham, man. Oh, Kudu. Well, Kudu, will I take Kudus? I would take Kudus normally, but Kudus of this season, hell no. He has been shocking. And now he's injured. So let him do one good year in championship and play well. And then we'll see if Kudus is good enough to play for Arsenal as backup. But I mean, when you look at Kudus and Semenyo, Kudus was always the star boy of Ghana. But you have to admit now, if you're Ghanaian, Semenyo is your star player. I'm sorry. I don't make the rules. Yes, Kudus has scored in the World Cup and AFCONs, but Semenyo snatching his chain, bro. So we'll see where I'm going. Wow, I can't believe Tottenham, man. Tottenham Hotspur. Wow, what a useless club. Okay, guys. So let me wrap up. Be quick. FA Cup games. So the games involving Nigerian players this weekend. We only have our Fulham and our Wolves boys still in the FA Cup. Oh wow! I just got an amazing super chat. Ayodele, oh my God, Ayodele Fakayode. Thank you so much, my brother. God bless you for this $20. I love Americans so much, man. Economy. Thank you so much for this. As you've blessed me, may God continue to bless you. As you support the channel and you support our hustle, may God support you in every way and any way that you desire. In the mighty name of Jesus. Thank you so much, bro. I really, really appreciate that. And that is very, very kind of you. Thank you so much for the kind words. He said your analysis is always on point, bro. Thank you, man. I'll try not to let my head swell. But it's all for you guys and for the community, man. In fact, thank you guys for allowing me to do these live streams more because I feel like the more I do them, the better I'm getting at them. Not in an arrogant way, but, just talking and, coming to build with this wonderful community that we have here. Thank you so much for that. And that's really kind. Okay. FA Cup games. So, Tolu Arokodare, imagine he just got the assist against Wolves. As if that's not enough, Wolverhampton play the same opponents, Liverpool, tomorrow in the FA Cup 5th round at the Molineux as well. I mean, I'm really excited to see how this game is going to shake out. 9 p.m. Nigeria time. We already know that Wolves beat them a few days ago, and they'll be feeling pretty confident, especially in a one-off game where there's no bearing on the league table. I think that's going to be quite interesting to see. So Arokodare may start or he may not start because Adam Armstrong started the last game. So I'm not sure how Rob Edwards is going to set up his team. But all I know is write Wolverhampton off at your peril. There's a world where Liverpool could end up slapping them 2-0 and everything's all good. But the evidence we've seen from Wolverhampton in 2026 and their performances in their recent games, drawn against Arsenal, beat Aston Villa, beat Liverpool, this tells me that this game is going to be extremely difficult. In fact, there's a world where Wolverhampton may even win, maybe on penalties. But Liverpool would like the fact that they have an opportunity to go again against same opponents. Can we see some tweaks from Anslot? Rather than him complaining that the way football is going, then his team will now come and serve off a 2-pack of shit. And then instead of him to now look inwards, you now be deflecting. So let's see how this game goes. All I know is Arokodare is going to play and Wolves are going to make it competitive for Liverpool. In fact, I'm going to predict a draw and then Liverpool will just about get it done on penalties because I think it's really hard to see Liverpool losing twice to Wolves for that game. Wait, I just got a notification that Palace have scored again. Let me quickly preview the next game. Fulham playing Southampton as well, Sunday 1 p.m. So it will be Bassey and Chukwueze all in action on Sunday. Fulham, we know, are coming off a disappointing loss against West Ham 1-0. But on the weekend, we know they thrashed Tottenham 2-0 and Iwobi scored one of the greatest goals we've seen in Premier League history. So I'm sure they'll be looking to get back to winning ways. When you then look at Southampton are 7th in the championship, 4 points behind Wrexham in 6th place. So they'll be looking to get into the playoff spots. But because it's a one-off game in the FA Cup, this game could go either way. What I do know is that Fulham will be smarting from the loss on Wednesday and they'll be eager to rectify in the game on Sunday on home soil as well. So I expect all 3 Nigerian players to start, especially if Harry Wilson is not fit. And I believe Fulham will definitely beat Southampton by at least 2-1, if not 2-0. We may see, that's what I think. Fulham should definitely win. And that will be that in terms of the FA Cup games involving Nigerian players. Just to quickly watch this goal against the Ops, Ismail Assar. When I had Ismail Assar in my FPL team, I was not doing this. So now I've taken him out. Now he remembers how to score goals. But my God, this is brilliant. Oh my God. Can you imagine, like, These kind of results are the kind of games. I don't know about you guys yet, but when a result like this happens, I like to just sit down on my TV and watch the entire post-game analysis, the entire thing. Yesterday, I watched all of TNT Sports coverage of the Arsenal game, the City game. I watched Match of the Day. I'm on like my 4th podcast today. And now imagine this Tottenham one. Oh, wow. You're right, Jonah. The Spurs fans leaving the stadium. And also, that stadium is bloody hard to get out of because they have no bloody undergrounds. Every time I go to a music concert in that Tottenham stadium, I'm like, oh, why did I come here, man? O2 Arena every day because it's near my house. I live in South London. Oh my God, guys, we need to drink in this Tottenham capitulation. They're so shit. Oh my God. Shout out to Palace, man. Palace are actually my local. So I live in South London and Crystal Palace are our local club. So I have a soft spot for Crystal Palace too. So go on, you Eagles, keep it going, yeah. And obviously their brand is the Eagles, Super Eagles. So we can always find ways to love them. Apart from the fact that Oliver Glasner absolutely hates Kusan Uche, but we can forgive him for that one. Hey, shout out to you, Aaron, man. Thank you so much for the super sticker, super chat. God bless you, Aaron. As you always support me, God will always support you too. May your cup never run dry. May everything you desire this 2026 and beyond come to fruition in the mighty name of Jesus. And he says, what is going on with Spurs? Bro, that's the $1 million question we're all trying to answer. But long may this nonsense continue, man, because wow. Tottenham might be the only club in the history of football to never have seen a new manager bounce. He go to the 2.5 games played, lost everything. To dare is to do. Tottenham's on is to dare is to fail. Go back down to the championship, man. Bro, 3-1. Long may it continue, guys, man. This is amazing. God bless you, Jackson. Thank you so much, Jackson, for the super chat. As you bless me, God will also bless you always for ever being a member and always supporting and always joining the live streams and member streams and giving me suggestions as well. God bless you, bro. And amen. Spurs are going down. That'll be amazing to witness and watch. Thank you so much, bro. Oh, all right, guys. Back to the program. The other FA Cup games taking place this weekend that do not involve Nigerian players. Obviously, Arsenal play Mansfield on Saturday, 1:15 p.m. I'll be honest, we should be able to even use our under-21 team and be beating Mansfield. But we won't take them for granted. Play our second string and let's deliver and move on to the quarterfinals and maybe go and win our 15th FA Cup. I don't mind, but to be honest, it's the Premier League I want and maybe the Champions League. I'm not even greedy. I just want the Prem. But the way City are beginning to drop these points, if we can get to the semi-final and we have the coast clear to win the Prem, then I would like to see my Arsenal play Barcelona. We owe them a lot for the past. Even Atletico Madrid, we owe them. So that'll be amazing to see. So Arsenal play Mansfield. Arsenal to progress for me. And then on Saturday, we'll see Chelsea play Wrexham, who are the darlings of the world. It'll be interesting to see if Wrexham can make it to the Premier League. But the way João Pedro and Chelsea are moving, I think they're definitely going to beat Wrexham in that game. Newcastle play Man City at St. James's Park, 9 p.m. on Saturday. Newcastle are so hard to predict. They beat Man United, but they've been losing games at St. James's Park they should not lose. They lost to Everton. They lost to Aston Villa. Just losing games you never expect Newcastle to lose. And I must say that this is another game that's hard to predict because Newcastle now fancy themselves in terms of cup competitions, especially after winning the League Cup last year. We know they made the semi-final of the League Cup this year. And they will fancy their chances playing against the rattled Man City at St. James's, it must be said. I think they definitely will, But my head still thinks Man City may win. But when you look at the confidence in Newcastle at the moment, I would not be surprised if Newcastle knock out Man City. And honestly, I would like to see it. Because if I can end up with a quarterfinal lineup and there's no more Liverpool and no more Man City, and it's just Arsenal and Chelsea, I know all the Nigerian Arsenal fans keep calling Chelsea our wife. So I'm going to borrow that term and say if it's only Arsenal and Chelsea left in the quarterfinals and all the other teams are none of the so-called top 6 or top 6, then I fancy my chances against our so-called wife that we beat all the time. In fact, at this point, they might as well name Chelsea Arsenal's bitch. All due respect and non-due respect meant. So let's see how those games get on Saturday. Then on Sunday, we'll see Port Vale, who are the lowest ranked team still in the FA Cup, apart from Mansfield. They play Sunderland at home. Port Vale just they just played their 4th round tie on Wednesday and they won. I think Sunderland should get the better of them, 2:30 p.m. And then Leeds host Norwich at Ellen Road. I will fancy Leeds, but when you're playing these bottom half Prem teams versus top half Championship teams, it will not surprise me if Norwich got a win, but I expect Leeds to progress. And then on Monday, we'll see West Ham play Brentford at the London Stadium. Hard to tell as well. Brentford could be quite good away sometimes, but then they could also be shit sometimes. But we know West Ham, this is a new West Ham that we're seeing. And I think with the way their season is going, and now that they have hope of staying in the Prem, I think they can allow themselves to enjoy the FA Cup games, potentially win a title. We all know about West Ham's heritage from the 60s, especially the fact that majority of the England winning team from 66, a lot of their best players, Bobby Moore, Jeff Hurst, were all playing for West Ham. So there's something about that they really tend to enjoy. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. And that's it for the FA Cup. So out of the 8 games, my predictions is Liverpool will just about edge Wolves. Fulham will beat Southampton. Arsenal will beat Mansfield. Chelsea will beat Wrexham. Newcastle will beat Man City. Let me be confident in Newcastle. Then Sunderland will beat Port Vale. Leeds will beat Norwich. And I'm going to go West Ham to beat Brentford. So I think Arsenal, we might as well book our Wembley place and go to the semi-final, but let's not disrespect any opponents. So that's it in terms of the FA Cup 5th round. Before I go through the top picks outside of England, let me just go through a few more comments. Adwa Yusuf says, sack Tudor now before minute 75 of this match or else. That's a good one. Bro, once I finish the live stream, I'm going to be camped in front of my TV. I want to watch Igor Tudor's interview. I want to go on Twitter and see the meltdown from Tottenham fans. I may even go on Reddit. That's how much of a hater I am. Go on YouTube, maybe hear what TalkSport are trying to say for the night. I'll just laugh at them, honestly. It's very important. And right-footed left back said Tottenham are going down, bro. At this point, it looks more likely. In fact, let me have a little glimpse of the Premier League table, And imagine this happening the year Arsenal win the league. Guys, that would be amazing. So it's good. Now that it's 3-1, their goal difference is -7. Good. Their goal difference still better than Nottingham Forest and West Ham. But they're only 1 point ahead of Nottingham Forest and West Ham. With 9 games to go. Nah, guys, this is amazing. Who do all 3 teams play next? Let's even know where we stand for next weekend. So, West Ham play Man City at home. That's a tricky tie. But West Ham could take points off City, especially this City we're seeing. So that's a tricky one. Then Nottingham Forest play Fulham at home. Ooh, the battle of my Niger boys. We'll preview that one when the time comes, but that will be interesting. But you have to say Forest will fancy themselves at home. And then guess what? Tottenham's next game is Liverpool away at Anfield. Guys, we need to see Tottenham in the relegation zone. And then the week after, Tottenham play Nottingham Forest at home. So Nottingham Forest can literally just beat them and go above them. And then West Ham go to Villa Park. Guys, the beauty of this just tells us that the rest of the season is going to be cinematic. Do not listen to the naysayers telling you that this season is boring. This is the only season in a long time where we have a title race, a top 4 race, a race for Europe in terms of the top 8, and we have a relegation battle in terms of all teams still performing. Do not be deceived. Everybody has a lot to play for. And it just means that between now and the end of May, what's that mean that goes? Absolute cinema. Man, absolute cinema. And just let us end up with Arsenal winning the Prem and Tottenham get relegated. Oh, yeah. A lot of eating to do. We're going to be feasted all summer, I'm telling you. Even though Nigeria did not make the World Cup, don't worry, we'll watch it. I don't like England, even though I'm a citizen. I'll support our African brothers. I'll decide which one I like the most and take it from there. Maybe Senegal. So we'll see what going and take it from there. Hey, shout out to IoT. I didn't even say IoT, man, on the chat. IoT, my resident Chelsea fan. Let me hear what he has to say. We'll gladly watch Spurs in the championship. Bro, they'll do well in the championship, and they just have to figure out how to fill up that stadium. And IoT says they still go to Anfield, Stamford Bridge, and Villa Park before the season ends. Or more. Guys, Tottenham might really go down, They're going to lose all three of those games. They're going to lose all of those three games. That one is for sure. So we know that one. And it's just a shame for them, man. And they have to figure out what they're going to do, in terms of figuring that game out. Other chats we've got. Adwa says, okay, I've mentioned that one. Charles said, hey, shout out to you, Charles. This Motsefe calf is just so horrible with all the incompetence. Why is Morocco not being sanctioned for their recent postponement? Interesting, my bro, man. We spoke about it earlier, but we'll wait to see what shakes out from that. Aaron said, I hope these players have relegation clauses. Yes, on Monday, David Ornstein confirmed that majority of the Tottenham players have relegation clauses that would half their wages by half. And I think some of them have opt-outs to leave, which is kind of crazy. Like, you not even think that you should be having such issues with Tottenham in terms of like the way they structure contracts. But here we are, and it's just a damn shame. But I'm not going to stand there and tell you that I wish Tottenham well. So long may the nonsense continue. Thank you, Charles. He said, congratulations to us now. Y'all have won. Yes, you're right. I hope everybody's going to be here for the parade. I'll see Chelsea fans. You're also welcome, man. Please, all of you. So that since it's all one London now, my bro. So let's all celebrate London, innit? Like Mikel would say. Jordan Jensen, I would not be surprised if he go 2-0 get sacked after this game. Bro, he's definitely going to get sacked. Charles says, Spurs don't want to invest in top players. Why all this cheap stuff just to destroy their PL legacy? Exactly. And also, they're really bad in terms of wages. Shout out to IoT, by the way. Guys, is there any issue with my audio and video? Apparently, it may not be in sync. I've checked my settings on my end, but there's nothing I could tell. But please let me know. Oh, yeah, IoT. Thank you very much. I love that comment. First one in 20 plus years. I mean, there was a time where before Abramovich, Chelsea had to wait 40 years for, a league title. So I'm sure your fans will be able to give us the updates on how that works. Our drought's not even as bad as Man City. It's not even as bad as Liverpool. Liverpool went 30 years. 30 years, 1990 to 2020. At least us 22 years, we can even manage. So, yes, thank you very much. I'm very happy that you're happy for me. I was going to be in that parade and in that bitch, man. Excited. So, yeah, shout out to everybody, man. Charles says, I thank God Lookman did not go to Spurs or Inter Milan, considering the recent downturn of their football. Lookman to Atletico is amazing. Thanks to his involvement there in Copa del Rey final. Spot on. I love that comment. In fact, guys, during AFCON, I was in the Athletic comments fighting for our players' lives. Do you know a Tottenham fan believed that Tottenham Hotspur could sign Victor Osimhen and Ademola Lookman? I was in the comments fighting. I was like, what kind of delusion do you live under? Tottenham, you can't even pay wages. Talk less of doing anything good with your club. And you say you want our 2 African footballer of the year to come and play for your club. I was so insulted. The guy was now insulted. He said, bro, it's Tottenham. We can pay the wages. If we can play for Galatasaray. I said, bro, Galatasaray are in discussions that you have no business being in. Galatasaray win their league titles all the time. You don't. You've literally not won a league title since my dad was 1 year old. And my dad is going to be 66 this year. So what are we talking about? Do not let these ops do anything for you. Thank you, John Andre. You said you saw that comment. Bro, I was fighting in the Athletic with that guy. Because this is why I love IoT and all they do there and what we're trying to do here. We must raise the profile of our players. Do you know how insulting it is that Tottenham thought Victor Osimhen, Scudetto winner, Capocannonieri winner, could play for their club, their bummy club? I was like, this disgrace too much. Or Lookman, imagine Tottenham, they now wanted him to come and be fighting relegation battle. Oh my God, thank you, Jesus, for saving us. So thank you so much. And finally, before I get to the topics, thank you so much for asking Charles about my interview It went well, man. I thought it went well. You know, with these things, you have to wait to see how things shake out. So I'm hoping for positive news tomorrow because I know they're also interviewing other people. But by God's grace, we will stand out and everything will go well in Jesus' name. Because, man, we need that job ASAP. In fact, I did some more job stuff today. So that's why I was a bit late. But yeah, keep me in my prayers. Same way I keep everybody in your prayers. I keep all of you in my prayers. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you asking, Charles. That's really nice of you and kind. Thank you. Adwa Yusuf says, Big Sam, Sir Alex, Klopp, Poch, and Carlo. The five of you as the coaching staff may not save Spursy Spurs. I like that. Bro, honestly, it's reached the point, guys, where there needs to be a real, like, incision about Tottenham. Like, yes, we banter them for how stupid they are, useless, but this is another level, guys. This is like, what is going on, guys? Like, how can you be this useless? Like, they really bask in it, man. Like, they love being useless. It's so annoying. But anyway, let's see how the second half goes. Okay, so moving on to top picks for the weekend outside of the Premier League. So remember, for anybody who's new and just watching for the first time, please like this video, all 36 of you watching on the live stream. But also, I want to just explain for anyone who's watching for the first time, we do the top picks to make sure that we're highlighting players playing outside of England. We know Nigerians love the Premier League. That is always our bread and butter. I know Nigerians in Nigeria are also big on La Liga, but not quite the same here. But I think it's important that we platform our players on the biggest boys that we can mention outside of the Premier League so that we're all watching them and we know how they're performing ahead of time. So for this week, I have 5 fixtures for your viewing pleasure as well. Picks of the week. This week, I'm going to start with Serie A. So in Serie A, Maduka Okoye just kept another clean sheet. I'm still not sure what's going to happen with this Nigeria friendlies, but let's be honest, it's likely going to be cancelled. NFF, incompetent with women, incompetent with men, CAF, incompetent. Basically, from being excited to watch the Super Falcons play like at least 3 games in March and watch 2 Super Eagles games in March, we may end up watching no Super Eagles games or any Super Falcons games this month because our NFF, they keep trying to collect money to allow players play in weird places. The whole world, nobody played against Russia. They carried us to Russia to go and pocket money that we don't know who pocketed the money because they're still owing salary. Do you remember when Pinnick carried our home-based players to America to go and lose 4-0 to Mexico and Colombia as our main? Then this one now, of all the places to organize friendly, they did not see anywhere in Europe that could make the players' lives easier. It's Jordan. They wanted to carry our multimillionaire internationals to go and play Jordan and Iran. God is watching everybody now. So anyway, it looks like if these games end up going ahead, the point is we need a goalkeeper. Amaso Basogi is under investigation by his club. Finally decided to leave his club. Yes, there's a rumor that he may end up being signed by Kaiser Chiefs because their first choice goalkeeper has gotten injured. But the truth is, Maduka Okoye is the best we got right now. So we need to monitor Maduka Okoye, especially if we need to play those friendlies. So he kept the clean sheet last week after they won 3-0. And they get to play Atalanta, so Lookman's former club. Obviously, we know about Ernest Ahano, but he's waiting to play for Italy, as we don't mention him. But there's now a 10-point gap between Udinese in 10th and Atalanta in 7th. So if Udinese don't want to end up being a mid-table team, which they usually tend to be, it's time for them to try and get some results, especially away from home. Now, we must say that it's very unlikely they'll win this game, especially with how Atalanta have improved under Palladino. But we know Maduka Okoye will start this game and he'll be feeling confident after his last clean sheet. My prediction for this game, I can't see Udinese keeping a clean sheet, I must be honest. So I'm going to go with the 1-1. Also, sticking with Serie A, we're going to see Gift Orban finally come back from his suspension, which happened over the past few weeks. Verona, we know they're bottom of the table. They're 9 points away from safety and more likely to go down anyway. They've lost their last 3 games while Bologna have won their last 3 games. Bologna are 6 points behind Atalanta in 7th. So Europe looks difficult for them, but these are the games that they have to win. It's not looking good, but when you see the way Wolves have found some ways to perform. In fact, me with Verona, from a selfish standpoint, I don't even care if they lose or win or draw. All I know is Gift Orban is the 4th top goal scorer in Serie A alongside other players. And we need him to get as close to 10 goals this season because he's showing that he's a dependable marksman in Serie A. For him to be doing this while playing for the team that's ranked 20th in the league, that lets me know the kind of player we have on our hands. Yes, we know he has some issues with his temperament or certain things in terms of him falling out of favor at Hoffenheim or Lyon. but this is a player that cannot play in Serie B. Even if he ends up going back to Hoffenheim once his loan is over, something will have to be figured out in the summer. So I just want to see Orban do as good as he can. Do you get what I'm saying? Between now and the end of Serie A season and get himself out of there. So good to see Orban. He'll be back in the team. That should be our expectations. Unfortunately, I do think that they will lose to Bologna because Bologna are very good. Orsolini is a fantastic player by 2-1, but I'm hoping that Orban will at least get that one goal. And then also sticking with Serie A, FDB, my shooter. Yes, after doing 1 year to be done in the Coppa Italia, Lazio need to refocus their efforts on the league because they're having a very disgusting campaign. That's the right word to use. For Lazio to be 11th in the league, nothing to write home about. They're literally playing at the Stadio Olimpico at home against Sassuolo. Sassuolo just got promoted, but Sassuolo are 9th. That's how shocking Lazio have been this season. Yes, Sassuolo have Domenico Berardi, Amaloriente, Tosberg. You know, they've got a few. Streets will never forget players, let's put it that way, especially Berardi, Pinamonti, you know. But you have to say that Lazio really truly should be finding a way to win this game on Monday at 8:45 p.m. Lazio have only won one of their last 6 games in the league, and they've won no games in 5 in all competitions. There are 4 points between these two teams on the Serie A table. And just so how you know how good Sassuolo have been performing, Sassuolo have won 5 of their last 6 games in the league. Promoted side. That's how amazing they've been. I mean, my only hopes for Fisayo is the fact that he started and scored on Wednesday. I'm hoping that he would start again on Monday. And hopefully we can see Lazio get back to winning ways because they desperately need it. Sarri must be losing his mind. So I'm going to go with the 2-1 win for Lazio, and hopefully FDB will score yet again. Now, the non-Serie A games to look forward to this weekend. We have Ademola Lookman's Atletico Madrid in 3rd, playing against Real Sociedad in 8th on Saturday, 6:30 p.m. As I said earlier in the episode, this is also going to be the Copa del Rey final lineup. Atletico Madrid will play against Real Sociedad in the Copa del Rey final later in the year. But the good news is Atletico Madrid get to test themselves against their final opponents literally on Saturday. At the Metropolitano, they need to win this match, to be honest, because they're level on points with Villarreal, but they're now also 9 points behind Real Madrid. So they may want to see if they're able to catch up. We know Real Madrid are pretty much gifting the title to Barcelona, you know. But don't worry, Barcelona Madrid fans. The same way Arsenal, we stopped Madrid in the Champions League. I can see that Arsenal-Barcelona collision course in the Champions League. And let Hansi Flick play that high line against Arsenal. Ooh la la, Martinelli. It'll be time to add to those 8 Champions League goals, my friend. So really, really excited for that. Now, from a Real Sociedad perspective, they're also doing pretty good. They're 8th in the league, so they still have a way of pushing for Europe. And I think most importantly, Atletico Madrid need to get a win under their belts to prepare to play Tottenham. You know, we know the first leg will be played at the Metropolitano Stadium, so they might as well start how they aim to proceed. What the fella. So play well on the weekend against Sociedad, and then welcome Tottenham Hotspur and hopefully thrash Tottenham Hotspur. But my predictions for this game, we'll see Lookman get back to starting. He may not start because he started the last game, I must say. But I do believe that they'll win this match 2-0. And hopefully we can see Lookman get his second La Liga goal for Atletico Madrid. And then finally, in Turkey, we've got a big heavyweight clash between 2 Istanbul giants. Super Eagles captain Wilfred Ndidi's Besiktas will be hosting Victor Osimhen's Galatasaray in the top of the table clash, 6 p.m. on Saturday. Now, Besiktas have been the underperformers in the league this season. They're 4th. They're literally below Trabzonspor and struggling, but they've still been showing signs of life recently. While we know that Galatasaray need to make sure they starve off Fenerbahce to ensure that they win yet again another Turkish title. I think it will be their 4th in the row. After Trabzonspor. Trabzonspor won 1 during the pandemic. Istanbul Basaksehir 1-1 during the pandemic. And since then, Galatasaray have just been slapping everybody. So, meeting of the Giants. Galatasaray, we already know, are looking good for the title. And they're doing well in the Turkish Cup. So, they aim to get their double yet again. Obviously, they also want to get a good win under their belts before they host Liverpool at Rams Park next week, Tuesday. So, that should be an exciting, exciting game. Besiktas, on the other hand, are Wilfred Ndidi. They've won 4 of their last 5 games in the league with 13 points from 15. So, they've won 4 and drawn 1 of their last 5. They've also not lost the games since November 2nd. We know that Galatasaray have wobbled a little bit in the league recently. So this is a game that I have to say I'm not even sure Galatasaray will win, because there's a world where they may rest Osimhen because of how important the Champions League game is. Let me just say for safety, I think this will be a 1-1 draw. But there's a world where I think Galatasaray could snatch it. But there's a world where I also think Besiktas could snatch it, and that would not be surprising to anybody. But it's going to be a blockbuster tie. I'm really excited to watch two pillars of our Super Eagles team play against each other. So let's see how that game goes. So that's it in terms of the top picks for the week. Before I quickly run through the ones to watch and put the community notes in case anyone wants to give their thoughts, let me just go through a few more notes. Thank you for reminding me, Charles. Yeah, Morocco literally let Walid Regragui go today. I think that's one of the most stupid decisions a country could make. Like what? 3 months, less than 3 months before the World Cup, and you've had this coach for what? 8 years, literally prepping the whole team, and now you've blown everything up. Maybe this is even linked to the whole WAFCON debacle, because maybe the Royal Maroc Federation, they're just all over the place, focus on World Cup. I don't know what's going on, but I would not be surprised if these things are linked for sure. Let's see what they end up at, though, in terms of who's next. But great comment there. John Andrea said, I hope those games are canceled for player safety. I expect it to be fair. Like Jackson said as well. Jackson says, Olu, might not play that friendly match due to what's happening in the Middle East. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I assume we will not play those games. But it's also on the NFF. They keep carrying our players to crazy places. Why did we even go to Russia last year? I don't understand these as a man. Then they will now be owing the players their bonus. So what are you doing with the match fee that you collected? Anyway, I like what Charles did. There should be standards for our friendly. Why collect money from any footballing country? Exactly. Standards. Jackson says, let NFF get Okonkwo fast. So we can have a reliable goalkeeper, not that man. Do you mean, when you say not that man, do you mean Okoye or Nwabali? Also, let's be honest, let's stop overgassing this Okonkwo. He plays in the championship. Like, yes, we want him to come to Super Eagles, but we always do this thing where we'll be judging people based on what their perceived reputation is. Don't get me wrong, I want him into the Super Eagles, but let's not act like Nwabali is not solid already and doing what needs to be done. And there's no world where right now Otto Okonkwo is a better goalkeeper than Maduka Okoye. That's just not possible. Okay, if he meant Uzoho, fair enough. I agree with that one. Yeah, play Okonkwo ahead of Uzoho for sure. That one I agree. And I agree with Aaron on saying I would love to see our Eagles play against a top 10 nation. Who even just booked a friendly against Ghana? Wales just booked a friendly against Ghana, but Wales are not even top 20. But this NFF and incompetent people, where are the June friendlies against big nations? Since we're not going, and you wasted and gasted the whole Nigerian nation to believe you have a petition that could work. You inconsiderate, useless people, It's so crazy. But I do agree with you that we'd love to see them play a few more games for sure. That'll be amazing to see. Charles also said, please, Oli, if you know anybody who has a coaching license or very good with youth football, like UEFA, B, A, or Pro, let them apply for our national team coach job. 6 of people not having license. Lord, that's a great one. I know one guy who's doing his UEFA B license, but it's just my friend here in Lusham, my Jamaican friend. But he's gonna go far though. I wish him well. So let's see what happens. But honestly, we need to start having qualified people in our positions of power. That's the honest truth we need for sure. So hopefully we can get to a place where we get there soon. Charles says Arsenal has finally got rid of their near success syndrome. Charles, I know you're a hater like this. But don't worry, yes, anyone you like. That Premier League title is coming. So I could care less about any batter. Please run it. More. Sheryl says, I'm waiting. Champion of EPL. Oh, okay. You mean us now? You know now. Thank you so much for that reminder, Aaron. When we played that Portugal game before the 2022 World Cup, I couldn't believe how disgraceful Pesero had us playing there. It was so insulting. Honestly, it was so bad. But anyway, I'm going to give up on this slide. You can still see my fine face. So it is what it is. Sheryl says, I'm waiting near EPL champion. How far? Job interview well. Thank you, man. I'm hoping for good news tomorrow by God's grace, because never know these things. But I love this comment by Senator SB. He says we should be playing against Spain, Netherlands, and France. Exactly. Let's see what we can do. The other teams have 2 heads. So let's see what happens on that front. But NFF, I've already given up on those guys, to be honest with you. Okay, before I let me put the link in for anybody who wants to come and quick do a discussion. Give me your thoughts on any of our topics, or just give any thoughts on the Prem, whatever it may be. And while we wait to see if we have any joiners, let me quickly go to the ones to watch for everybody's pleasure. So tomorrow, non-stop football, Friday night, Tolu Arokodare Wolves hosting Liverpool, the FA Cup, 9 p.m. Nigeria time. I'm having hiccups. And then on Saturday, we'll see the Hamburg boys playing against Wolfsburg. Otele and Torunariga. Hopefully, Otele is back from injury when they play at 3:30 p.m. on Saturday. Then we'll see Chidozie Awaziem's Nantes play at home against Angers. They need to win that game. If they do not get 3 points, we might as well say bye-bye to Nantes and Awaziem to League 2. Udinese's Maduka Okoye will, of course, play in Atalanta at 6 p.m. on Saturday. And we will, of course, see Ademola Lookman's Atletico host Real Sociedad 6:30 p.m. Nigeria time on Saturday as well. We'll also see a big blockbuster clash in the Portuguese league. Forgive me for not adding this as one of the 5, as FC Porto play against Benfica, who are still unbeaten in the league. So let's see if Murphy starts and Sanusi comes back to start lineup at 7 p.m. If Porto pretty much win or draw this game, it's pretty much done and dusted, and they will win the title. Since Chukwueze did not play on Wednesday in the Coupe de France, it's unlikely, but let's see if he gets minutes when Marseille go away to play Toulouse on Saturday in Ligue 1, 9:05 p.m. start. And then the Pizza Boys, Aki Somiro and Fiodoro Simi, they have to go to the Juventus Stadium to play Juventus away. So that's not looking good for them, and it looks like they'll go down, but we hope for the best from the two of them. On Sunday, we'll see the Fulham boys in the FA Cup. Iwobi, Bassey and Chukwueze as Fulham host Southampton at Craven Cottage at 1 p.m. Nigeria time. And then we'll see Gift Urban's Verona play Bologna away at 3 p.m. Nigeria time. Then we have the battle of our Super Eagles Giants with Wilfred Ndidi's Besiktas hosting Victor Osimhen's Galatasaray 6 p.m. Nigeria time. And then we'll see the Sevilla boys, Educate and Akko Adams host Rayo Vallecano at 6:30 p.m. Moses Simon's Paris FC have got a very tough game away against Lyon, who look pretty much on course to grab that third spot in Ligue 1, especially with the way Endrick is playing. Yes, Marseille beat them last week, but Lyon are still in the driving seat and looking pretty good under Paulo Fonseca. And then we'll see Omar Sadiq's Valencia host Deportivo Alaves 9 p.m. Speaking of Omar Sadiq, by the way, he continues to play really well for Valencia. Even the 1-0 win over Osasuna on the weekend, it was Omar Sadiq who won the penalty, which Ramzani then dispatched expertly to make it 1-0. And Valencia are now solidly mid-table, and let's see how much they could build between now and the end of the season. And then on Monday, we'll see Fisayo Dele-Bashiru's Lazio play against Sassuolo, which we just previewed. And then finally, we'll see the Trabzonspor boys, Onuachu, Chibike Nwaiwu, and Anthony Nwakeme go away to play Kayserispor at 6 p.m. on Monday. So that's it for this episode of the podcast and the ones to watch. I hope you guys have all enjoyed the content. Please remember, I'm not one of those people that is averse to feedback. If there's anything you want included or removed or ways you like to see things changed, please let me know, especially our members. Please forgive me for them. I think there was a mistake with our timing yesterday. I came on at 10 p.m. UK time after the Arsenal game, which was very exciting, of course, because as you guys are hearing me now in my chest, Arsenal are winning the Premier League. Take it to the bank. So just before we head off, I know Shane was on, so I hope he's there to give Arsenal praise that we deserve. And if anybody else wants to give their thoughts, I want to say a big thank you. Shout out to all 3 people who gave us super chats. It means the world to me. I hope you guys have all liked the video. I know we have 36 people on right now, and we have a total of 22 likes. That is not too bad. Even me, I would like my own video to make it 23. But guys, please, if you're still watching and you've loved the content, it would mean the world to me if you can please like the video. If you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel. We drop content every Monday and Thursday. And for those of you who do not really like the long nature of content, we chop the videos up with all the key points for your listening pleasure for you to watch at your own time. But I like doing the live streams because of the engagement part of it and being able to talk to this wonderful community that we're building. So that's the reason for it. Our next members only live stream will be next week, Wednesday. If there's no Champions League, I think we should do 10 p.m. So just after the Champions League, so we can have things to talk about. Also, members only. It's my birthday next week, Thursday. So exactly 7 days from now. So we'll do the members only live stream and we can celebrate into my birthday, regardless of what we're doing. One thing to also mention, I will not do a live stream this time next week just because, as you people expertly found out during AFCON, I like to enjoy myself. I'm going to take myself to dinner somewhere and do something fun. But I will either pre-record the preview episode as I usually used to do, or we could do a live stream on Friday early evening because I need to have a party, Friday night. Let's celebrate reaching the age of 33. We're getting old, So just to give a heads up on that, but we'll have the normal live stream on Monday. We can clarify and also the members only chat on Wednesday. Also, shout out to all our members. Please feel free to support us if you feel like going the extra mile for us. But even if you don't, liking, sharing, subscribing is more than enough. And I want to say a big thank you for all the support. Okay, now let's get some people to talk and we could go home and watch some more sports tears. Thank you so much, Senator SB. Oh, thank you so much. We like the content. That means the world, man. Thank you so much. Also, I appreciate all the feedback, man. For years, I used to literally record into my own voice, and I never used to get feedback. So it means the world with everybody giving me updates. So thank you guys so much. And much love always. Okay, Shehu, I hope you're ready to praise us now. God bless you, and then we take it from there. Welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. First of all, I don't praise Arsenal. I don't praise anybody. I don't praise you guys
You don't praise
because you're
anybody?
corner FC. I don't praise you're corner FC. I don't praise you.
You have to be a good sport,
And I
Shehu. Come
blame
on.
the yeah, it's good you are winning them here. That's good. That's lovely. After 20 something years, that's good.
Thank
Lovely.
you.
I think that's the
Just
time
like
to start
Chelsea
again.
waited 50 years before Abramovich came to save you, It is what it
Thank
is.
you. Thank you. I'm starting before that one. That by the way. Talking about that WAFCON, I
Yeah.
think Patrick Motsepe is a joke. It's a joke.
Yeah, it's an
It's a big
interesting
joke.
one, I must say.
And for me, I don't blame so much because African fatigue does African people, African country entirely don't know how to host there because if that about other country host that tournament, you're not coming up with Shaka force like this
Abi.
normally because I don't think this tournament like I don't know how this tournament this year already. You know already like a year ago. You know already. Like I got to prepare very for the AFCON and to postpone it. Secondly, I think that it's good for the postpone because they have better time to play very well. They have time, but that time you can see Urban still be over. They'll be starting Urban still like that time, so it's okay like that. And also this you and your team lack of belief in you. Work up issue. I think that let's give them time. It's not about the FA Gatland. It's about what FIFA do. If I accept the appeal already, yes, I agree. But and I'm not talking yet. And they can talk anytime from now. For me, whatever I don't care. The fact is that if you go down to do something wrong, they should pay for it. That's my concern. It's not about Nigeria. If you go and do something bad, they face the need. That's about what this FA about that thing of football like 20 years backward. This like Gusoya, 20 years backward. So I don't care about them. I just feel that if you go down to do something bad, they pay for it. And for the one coach that left, don't be surprised. No can come for a shell. If you, they can come. Are you
Oh,
hearing me?
that's an angle. I didn't think about that. They can come from Mr.
They can,
Shell.
they can come shell.
Because he speaks
But thing
French
that
too.
but the one that Morocco they have high taste. They
But I
can
think
employ
Morocco, they
the
like having Moroccans in charge too, though. Like that's something I
no
noticed when
they,
I
have-
was.
they like high taste. You know what? Look at their female coach. The World Cup winner with Spain. Remember, the one that won the World Cup was Spain last is their female coach now. So, and then that 20 coach she's not from Morocco, she's from Royal Holland. So I remember, so they can go for that is available. Next time they can go for one of them. So I think that they should allow the match to stay for after the World Cup. But they've done a good job. Any coach down start on that. another start from the first World Cup now. Finally, before I go, the EPL story. I think sometimes I joke and I was laughing when this guy, Xavi Simon, dumped Chelsea for to Tottenham. Imagine who's the Tottenham, Xavi Simon. That's
Tottenham.
crazy. Now Tottenham must put they're losing to this club, Crystal Palace now.
Bro, they've won 2 games
So
at home
so
all season. They lose to everybody.
so and imagine look at the story Tottenham relegation. It's going to be crazy, crazy story. After
I
spending her
know.
money, being could do, being could marry body to do the thing. Point. Finally, if I go, kudos to you for your job, great job, and enjoy the program anytime. I already find my time have to kiss that I want to watch the program. So give me time to watch because I like the program. Finally, Arsenal, kudos to you. I wait to your champion. I'll give you a salute after 20 years.
Yeah.
Kudos to you guys.
Thank you.
Welcome. Stay blessed. See you on Monday. Bye
Thank
for
you
now.
so much, Shu. Oh wow, look at that. We're getting the Chelsea fans to give us our praise. Okay, no worries, Jackson. I mean, we should ask you about the league table. Shout out to John Andrea. Thank you for this comment. He said, you're reaching uncle age, but for real, enjoy your birthday. Bro, for real, man. I still remember being like 29. I remember my 27th birthday. I remember my 21st birthday. I was in Australia. I was in uni. You're telling me we're about to be 33 years old, man. I can't believe it, man. Like the way time flies. Wow. But we thank God for grace and for keeping us this long and for where he's gonna take us to. You know, I'll be honest, I think 30s have been a fantastic time. You have more clarity on what you want. You know, you probably have a bit more disposable income, you know, career-wise, you know what you're doing. And I think you're just a bit more aware of yourself and what you like. So, you know, really looking forward to turning 33. In fact, this is a very important age for my brother and I because we're turning 33. March is the third month of the year. We were born in 1993. You know, there's a lot of 33333, you know. So really excited, you know, and just grateful for the journey. And by God's grace, we'll keep bringing you this content hot and hot. So everybody enjoy all the football between now and the rest of the weekend. Hey, Eagles tracker. I even forgot our team was a March baby too. Birthday in 3 weeks over here, bro. So we're just 2 weeks away, Seth. Don't worry, IoT. Don't mention the years. I know some of us are go. But now we like football pass. So maybe it's because if you count 9 months from March, it means our parents conceived us in summer. So maybe during one tournament or something fun, you know. That is the way I see it. But I want to say a big thank you to everybody for all the support, all the love. Make sure you enjoy this Tottenham L continuing. Make sure you enjoy all the FA Cup games this weekend, starting from tomorrow with Wolves versus Liverpool, and all the games we've previewed, including all our Nigerian players, and generally just watching the FA Cup. IoT, I have a feeling Arsenal and Chelsea, we may play the FA Cup final. Since the remaining big boys, they may not want to pattern up, but let's see how it goes. But really excited for all the football to watch. Remember, we'll be back again on Monday. Thank you guys for all the prayers and all the love. I need this job, man. So, by God's grace, good news tomorrow, and then we keep going. But remember, our socials are right below here. You can see us everywhere. If you prefer listening on audio, we're also on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. We're also on Amazon Music. We're also on Audio Mac. I just couldn't fix all the characters in here. Remember, on the road to 20K. So thank you guys for the support. And may Super Eagles and Nigerian football continue to flourish and prosper in Jesus' mighty name. Hope you guys like the length of this one. It's not too long like Monday, but I really appreciate everybody for taking the time and, yeah, just supporting. So enjoy the game, and I'll see everybody on the next episode. Shout out to everybody who gave me a super chat as well. May your cup never run dry. And thank you to all our new subscribers and for liking this content. Take care. Peace out. Much love. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. Ciao, ciao.